The crack of a perfect shot reverberated through the halls of the Pinnacle Marksman Society in Seattle, Washington, on a crisp October morning in 2027. Applause erupted from the crowd, men and women draped in tailored shooting vests. Their wealth is evident in their gear, as in their smug confidence. Ethan Caldwell lowered his custom-built Sig Sauer, a sly grin spreading across his weathered, sun-kissed face. Another bullseye. At 45, he was the unchallenged king of this exclusive world, a three-time world champion, a silver medalist from the Paris Olympics, and the poster boy for a luxury firearms brand. His family's tech empire had paved his way since he was a kid, handing him the best coaches money could buy. Talent took care of the rest. This was his domain, where privilege and precision kept outsiders at bay. But if you've ever been dismissed or made to feel like you didn't belong, stick around, this story's about to take a turn. Near the entrance, clutching a weathered canvas bag, stood Clara Thompson. At 38, she didn't fit in. Her faded denim jacket and off-the-rack khakis made her look like she'd wandered into a private gala uninvited. Her dark hair was pulled into a practical bun, and her sensible sneakers squeaked faintly on the polished floor. The receptionist, a polished young woman with a sleek updo, barely glanced up. "Members only," she said, her tone clipped, eyes already drifting back to her screen. Clara's voice was soft but steady. "I've got a day pass." It was a gift. She pulled a crumpled envelope from her bag, her fingers lingering on it as if it held more than just paper. The receptionist raised an eyebrow, scanning Clara from head to toe before waving her through with a sigh. Ethan noticed her from across the room, his sharp blue eyes narrowing. "Well, look at this," he called out, loud enough for his entourage to snicker. "Someone's lost on their way to the discount store." Laughter rippled through his group, drawing every eye to Clara as she made her way to the beginner's range, head down but steps deliberate. The club's manager, Olivia Bennett, a retired sharpshooter with a no-nonsense air, frowned but held her tongue. Clara set her bag on a shelf, carefully unwrapping a cloth bundle to reveal a standard Beretta 92, reliable but plain, a stark contrast to the gleaming, custom firearms around her. Ethan and his cronies drifted closer, sensing sport. $10 says she misses the target entirely," one sneered. Ethan chuckled. "Make it 10 grand. Bet she's never even touched a gun." He swaggered over, his voice dripping with mock courtesy. "Ma'am, you sure you're in the right place? This ain't a book club." Clara looked up, her hazel eyes locking onto his with a calm that threw him off for a split second. "Just here to shoot," she said, her voice quiet but firm. Ethan smirked, recovering fast. "Shoot? Sweetheart, this is for pros. 10 grand says you can't hit the bullseye from 50 yards. Clara's face stayed neutral, but something flickered in her gazea's spark, maybe defiance. "I don't have that kind of money," she said. Ethan's grin widened. "If you pull it off, I pay. If you miss, you walk out and don't come back." "Deal." Olivia stepped forward, her voice tight. "Mr. Caldwell, let's keep this civil." Ethan waved her off. "Just a friendly bet, Olivia. Relax." No one noticed Clara's posture shift, spine straightening, shoulders easing, feet settling into a textbook stance. No one saw the way her hands moved with practiced precision as she lifted the Beretta, and no one caught the faint glint of the plain silver ring on her left hand, a band that once belonged to one of the deadliest snipers in Delta Force history. For years ago, Clara had stood under a drizzling sky at Fort Rosecrans National Cemetery, clutching a folded flag as her husband's casket was lowered. Chief Warrant Officer Daniel Thompson, known among his unit as Spectre, had been a legend. 18 years of service, a Silver Star, and a reputation for hitting targets others couldn't even see. The official report said, "Training accident." Clara knew the truth was buried in classified files she'd never see. They'd met in Boise, Idaho, at a diner where she was waitressing to pay for grad school. Daniel, on leave, spilled his coffee and stayed for 3 hours to apologize. They married in a quiet courthouse ceremony, surrounded by his battle-hardened teammates. Life with a Delta operator meant long absences, cryptic letters, and scars he wouldn't explain. "You're why I come back," he'd say, his voice rough but warm. During one stateside stretch, after a mission left him with a limp, Daniel took Clara to a range. "If I'm gone, I need to know you're safe," he said, adjusting her grip with calloused hands. What started as self-defense training became a shared ritual. Clara was a natural steady hands, sharp eyes, and a calm that didn't crack. "You've got it all," Daniel told her after her first bullseye. Control, focus, heart. They spent years practicing together, his lessons sinking deep. Stance, breath, trigger discipline. "Shooting's not about anger," he'd say. "It's about owning every inch of yourself." His teammates noticed, one joking, "Spectre says you're better than most of his recruits." The last time they shot together was 3 days before his final mission. He was quieter than usual, watching her more than shooting. "Keep this up, Clara," he said. "No matter what." After his death, she locked his guns away and moved to Seattle, taking a desk job at a logistics firm. The day pass came from Daniel's old squad mate, Lucas Hayes, with a note. "Daniel would want you to keep going. Don't stay lost." Now, standing in the Pinnacle Marksman Society, Ethan's taunt hung heavy. Clara felt something stir a piece of herself she'd buried with Daniel. She raised the Beretta, the world shrinking to gun, target, and breath. Inhale, exhale, halfway squeeze. The shot cracked sharp and true. The target rolled back, revealing a dead center bullseye. Silence gripped the range. Ethan's smirk faltered as he snatched the target, inspecting it like it might confess to cheating. "Beginner's luck," he spat. "Anyone can fluke once." Olivia stepped forward, her tone warm. "That was incredible, MS. Thompson." Clara nodded. "Clara Thompson," she said softly. Ethan wasn't done. "One shot's nothing. 50 grand says you can't hit 3 bullseyes at 75 yards. Miss one, you admit you cheated and leave." The crowd murmured, uneasy. Clara twisted her ring, a quiet ritual. "If I win, the money goes to the Heroes Recovery Fund." Ethan hesitated, then nodded. "You won't." Clara moved to the 75-yard line, her movements fluid, almost serene. Olivia whispered, "Ethan's the club record holder at this distance. No one's beaten him in years." Clara nodded, unfazed. The first shot was perfect. The second, flawless. By the third, Ethan's jaw was tight, his confidence cracking. Clara twisted her ring, feeling Daniel's lessons steady her. The final shot hit, true 3 bullseyes. The crowd roared. Ethan grabbed the targets, his voice shaking. "This is impossible. She's cheating." Clara set her gun down, calm as ever. "We had a deal, Mr. Caldwell." Ethan's face twisted. "A deal with a fraud? No way." Olivia intervened, her voice firm. "The shots were clean, Ethan. Witnessed by everyone, including Councilwoman Harper." Ethan turned on her. "Stay out of this, Olivia, or you're done here." Clara's voice cut through, steady but sharp. "If you're accusing me, let's take it private." Ethan misread her, thinking she was backing down. "No, we settle this now. 1 week from today, a real competition. 10 stations, different guns, club equipment to keep it fair. If you win, I pay the 50 grand to your charity. If I win, you confess your trick." Clara wanted to walk away, but Ethan's arrogance lit something fierce in her. "Deal," she said, her voice low but resolute. As the crowd dispersed, Olivia pulled her aside. "That was bold, Clara. Ethan's got pull in this city. Be careful." Clara nodded, exhausted but resolute. "I just wanted to shoot." Ethan wasn't done. From his waterfront condo, he called his private investigator, voice tight. "Find everything on Clara Thompson. She's no amateur." By evening, social media was buzzing. The mystery sharpshooter, they called her, a grainy video of her final shot racking up views. His girlfriend, Mia Larson, scrolled her phone, frowning. "Ethan, those weren't lucky shots." "She's good." He waved her off, but doubt not at him. The investigator called back. "Clara Thompson, 38, logistics analyst. Moved from Boise 4 years ago. Widow of Daniel Thompson, Delta Force sniper, Kia. They say he trained her." Ethan froze. A sniper's widow? This wasn't just a fluke. Clara, meanwhile, trained relentlessly. At a public range outside Seattle, she honed every technique Daniel taught her. Each shot a tether to his memory. Lucas Hayes showed up at her apartment, his gruff voice soft with concern. "The whole community's talking, Clara. Daniel would be proud." She teared up. "I didn't mean for this." He squeezed her hand. "Sometimes the fight finds you. You're not alone." The day before the competition, a retired Delta operator, Commander Ryan Carter, met her at a private range, offering tips on the McMillan TAC .338, a rifle Ethan favored. Daniel said you had the steadiest hands he'd ever seen, Carter said, handing her Daniel's notebook of calculations. Clara clutched it like a lifeline. Competition day was electric. The Pinnacle Marksman Society was packed, the event now a public spectacle. Ethan arrived in branded gear, all charm and bravado. Clara, in jeans and a simple shirt, carried only Daniel's notebook. Olivia warned her quietly. The equipment's off, not enough to flag, but enough to favor Ethan. Clara nodded, ready. Through the first stations, Ethan's polish shone, but Clara's quiet precision kept pace. By the fifth, she noticed a tampered trigger too heavy. She adjusted, recalling Daniel's words, adapt and overcome. By the ninth, they were tied. The final station, the TAC 338, was Ethan's domain. Clara spotted a misaligned scope, but used Daniel's formulas to compensate. A flash of light from Ethan's crew tried to distract her, but she refocused. 10 shots, 10 bullseyes. The crowd exploded. Olivia announced, Clara Thompson, first place. Ethan's handshake was stiff, his whisper venomous. This isn't over. Then Olivia dropped the bomb, showing footage of Ethan's team tampering with the guns against Clara. The crowd gasped. Ethan's career teetered. By morning, the story was everywhere. The sniper's widow versus the cheating champion. Clara ignored the media frenzy, calling Lucas. It's too big. What now? He replied. Justice or privacy? She chose justice. Ethan faced fraud charges, his reputation in tatters. The Heroes Recovery Fund offered Clara a role leading a veteran shooting program. At a quiet meeting, Ethan, humbled, apologized. I built my life on being the best. You shook that. Clara nodded. I shot for a promise, not a trophy. Months later, at a fundraiser, Clara stood before a crowd, launching the Daniel Spector Thompson Scholarship. I went to keep a promise, she said, voice steady. I found a purpose. A young Marine, the first recipient, saluted her. Clara twisted her ring one last time. For you, Daniel. So what do you think? Was Clara's victory about skill, or was it fate giving her a stage? Should Ethan's career be over, or does he deserve a shot at redemption? And what about the club should they face consequences for letting this happen? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that spark debate.